Imagine that we live in a world where every morning, everyone in the world, no matter who you are, wakes up with £24,000. And immediately you can imagine there would be a divide. The divide between people who spend the money on meaningless things, instant gratification, gambling, alcohol, games, because the 24,000 is just going to be recharged tomorrow, right? So why not live today as fun as it can be? And maybe right now you're looking at these kind of people with a slight sense of disgust because you're thinking, I wouldn't be like that. I'd save my money in a savings account, make smart purchases. I wouldn't waste the money on meaningless things like these other people. But you're fooling yourself. You're lying to yourself. Some of the more observant ones will have already noticed what I'm trying to say. £24,000, 24 hours in a day. Every day, each person gets 24 hours, just like in this world where everyone gets £24,000 when you wake up. The average person's screen time per day is 7 hours and 4 minutes. And you've probably heard this statistic before, but we always so easily breeze over it. But think of it in the same context as the money example. Really think of it. It's like when you wake up with those £24,000 instantly, without even making smart decisions, investing, you're throwing a third of it away. And let's say that we throw this third away. We spend another third, 8 hours of it sleeping. And I'm not saying don't sleep, obviously, because in the money example, this is the equivalent of buying food, paying for your bills, accommodation. But even after these essential things, we still have 2/3 of the day that we can do whatever we want with it. And with the remaining 2/3, we're literally spending half of it on our screens. And I appreciate that this is all screen time, so obviously it's not just social media. But look at your phone screen time. I can guarantee that social media is the thing that's on top of the list of the things that you use your phone for. I've seen upwards of 4, 5, 10, 12 hours a day of social media. And let's be lenient and say that you only spend 4 hours a day on your phone. And if you live to be 50, you'll have spent a total of 87,600 hours on your phone. Guess how many years that's equivalent to? 14.6. And I don't know about you, but this was really a big wake-up call for me. Because I don't know about you, but for me, back then, I was easily using more than 4 hours a day. So that means even if I only live up to 50, I'll have wasted 15 years of my life. 15. And I act like this person who's seemingly better, who's telling you about how bad this is. But I'm just like you. I struggled just like you. I was borderline addicted to social media. But the difference is, after having this revelation, this shocking moment, the divider is between who takes action and who doesn't. Because sure, you could watch this video and be like, damn, I'm gonna waste 15 years of my life. But the real difference is some people will take the action, whereas some people just go on to waste their lives. So who are you going to be? Are you going to be the gamblers, the broke degenerates of society who spend their £24,000 on meaningless things? Or are you going to be a smart investor who tracks his money carefully and knows that if he saves it, he can amount it to something great? So how can we reduce screen time and ultimately save years upon years of our lives? And if you try deleting an app, you'll know that how ineffective this is, because you just end up re-downloading it again. So I'm not even going to mention that in this video, and I'm going to change up your routine, your life altogether, so that screen time decreases naturally without having to take these measures that you know aren't going to work. So the first one is a simple protocol, a routine to implement into your life. What is it? It's simply not checking your phone first thing in the morning. And this is by far the worst thing you can do in the morning. Studies back this up, because most people end up scrolling the most the moment they wake up. People have made it a habit so that as soon as they wake up, they check all their notifications, all their emails, reply to all their messages, and this wastes hours upon hours. And the morning time is specifically the time where it molds your whole day. And that's why in some Asian cultures, you deliberately avoid negative thoughts, negative interactions, arguments in the morning, because whatever happens in the morning dictates the rest of your day. And when you scroll in the morning, your brain feels lazy, unproductive, it doesn't want to do things. But that's strange. It's the morning, we've just slept. It should be the time where we feel the most motivated, but it's not, because we go on social media straight away. So tell yourself that from now on, you're not going to check your phone the first thing in the morning. And the craziest thing is, just a simple action by not checking it straight away, you can check it an hour later. But by this simple routine, this simple promise you're making to yourself that you're not going to check it straight away, will drastically decrease your screen time. and it has numerous other benefits like improved mood and productivity. And so what I like to do is I tell myself that I'm going to do a task before checking my phone, and this task can be whatever task I had planned for that day. So whether it's a block of work, I'm going to review this topic, I'm going to finish a script for a YouTube video. By telling myself I'm going to do a task before checking my phone, objectively the time difference between me checking my phone straight away and after this task is only an hour difference. But by giving your brain enough time, some alone time to focus on some work without distractions of social media, not only do you get good quality amounts of work done, you're less likely to just fall into this scrolling rut right after you've woken up. And the alarm excuse is the most common one. I have my alarm set on my phone, and this is the pitfall that a lot of people fall in, because they say they need to go check their alarm, they need to turn it off, and so what do? They turn their alarm off and then they open their phone and check all their notifications. So a really worthwhile investment would literally just be to buy an alarm clock. And okay, I see your skepticism. The thing that you're worried about is that if I wait an hour before texting this person, they're going to not like me. But what if my friend's cat died? What if my crush thinks that I'm leaving them undelivered for an hour? Quite frankly, you know these excuses are just ridiculous, and just know that these are just excuses that your brain's trying to make because it's scared to let go. But promise yourself that you won't check your phone first thing in the morning from now on, and I promise you the benefits that come with this will be immeasurable. Number 2, filter out notifications, because you don't need to see when Instagram's recommending you accounts that you like, or that your Snap streak is expiring, or that BBC is telling you that the weather tomorrow is going to be 1% worse than today. And inherently notifications in themselves aren't bad, but the problem is they act as a fishing hook. You know all too well. You open Instagram to reply to a message, but then you click on the explore page and you scroll reel after reel, or your mom sent you a text message so you reply, but then TikTok sent you a notification so you end up scrolling and scrolling. They act as a hook, and it's all too easy to get pulled into the scrolling hole. So the easiest way is to just remove these hooks completely. If you need to check notifications, go into the app. You don't need to be notified the moment that they come. You'd be surprised how much less you'd use your phone just by creating this extra step of having to unlock your phone and go into the app. And you should literally be angry that this piece of metal that you hold is stealing years off your life. And these notifications act as the catalyst that's just speeding up this process. And so make it as difficult as you can for it to steal your life. Turn off notifications. Have your phone on do not disturb, and I promise you at first you'll have an irrational fear of missing out, and you think that you're not going to be able to catch up on the notifications in time. But I promise you that after a while you'll realize that you're not actually missing out on anything, and your life feels so much more peaceful, and you can actually focus for once. And obviously I'm not saying go no phone or get a Nokia brick, but a wise man once said that technology is like a double-edged sword. If you hold it by the handle, you can wield it like a weapon and use it for good. But everyone's holding it by the handle, the sharp end, and they're harming themselves with it. How are you going to wield this sword of technology? And the third one is a funny one, but it genuinely works, and it's to rearrange your home screen. I asked my mom to rearrange my home screen to hide social media apps into different folders on my phone. And you'd be so surprised, because just close your eyes and imagine you have your phone in your hand. Done the Face ID, you swiped up, and automatically you know where your social media apps on your home screen. And that's the problem. Too easily we autopilot open our phones and go straight onto social media because we use our phones too much, and we've memorized exactly where the social media apps are. And so make it as difficult for yourself as you can. Move your social media apps, keep it out of your sight. And so if you have to add that simple bit of friction that you have to go search for the app, that will decrease the amount of times that you'll start using that app. You'd be really surprised. We don't want to unconsciously get into this spiral of scrolling and wasting our lives, and by making it unattractive and difficult for yourself, you're decreasing the probability. And this is actually a rule for breaking bad habits, making it unappealing. And if you're interested about that, check out my habit guide. In conclusion, look at the bigger picture. Don't waste your life. Just as easily as you said that if you had £24,000 each day, you'll be smart about it. Be smart with your time, because time is more valuable than money. These simple tips, I guarantee you, will make it so that you can start decreasing your screen time and start your journey to a better, more fulfilling, more focused life. Check out my other videos if you like this one.